Good morning, everyone. Today is November 22nd. It is Wednesday in the 33rd week in Ordinary Time. And today we celebrate also the memorial of Saint Cecilia. She's patron saint of the musicians. So we will learn a little bit more about this saint by the end of this meditation. And we invite the Holy Spirit among us so that this time of Lectio Divina, of meditation with the scriptures, bear much fruit in our lives. And the first reading today is from the second book of Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1 and verses 20 to 34, 20 to 31. Second Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1 and verses 20 to 31. It happened that 7 brothers and their mother were arrested and were being compelled by King Antiochus under torture with whips and thongs to partake of unlawful swine flesh. The mother was especially admirable and worthy of honorable memory. Although she saw her 7 sons perish within a single day, she bore it with good courage because of her hope in the Lord. She encouraged each of them in the language of their ancestors. Filled with a noble spirit, she reinforced her woman's reasoning with a man's courage, and said to them, I do not know how you came into being in my womb. It was not I who gave you life and breath, nor I who set in order the elements within each of you. Therefore, the Creator of the world, who shaped the beginning of the human race and devised the origin of all things, will in his mercy give life and breath back to you again, since you now forget yourselves for the sake of his laws. Antiochus felt that he was being treated with contempt, and he was suspicious of her reproachable tone. The youngest brother being still alive, Antiochus not only appealed to him in words, but promised with oaths that he would make him rich and inviolable if he would turn from the ways of his ancestors, and that he would take him for his friend and entrust him with public affairs. Since the young man would not listen to him at all, the king called the mother to him and urged her to advise the youth to save himself. After much urging on his part, she undertook to persuade her son. By leaning close to him, she spoke in their native language as follows, deriding the cruel tyrant. My son, have pity on me. I carried you 9 months in my womb, and nursed you for 3 years, and have reared you and brought you up to this point in your life, and have taken care of you. I beg you, my child, to look at the heaven and the earth, and see everything that is in them, and recognize that God did not make them out of things that existed. And in the same way, the human race came into being. Do not fear this butcher, but prove worthy of your brothers. Accept death, so that in God's mercy I may get you back again along with your brothers. While she was still speaking, the young man said, What are you waiting for? I will not obey the king's command, but I obey the command of the law that was given to our ancestors through Moses. But you, who have contrived all sorts of evil against the Hebrews, will certainly not escape the hands of God. So in the book of Maccabees, we saw yesterday chapter 6 and today chapter 7, the martyrdom of these people that have chosen to die for the law of the Lord, have chosen to die for him. And it is really beautiful to see how the enemy here persuaded this young man in many ways to try to have him to refuse God and take the pagan's customs. And this young man, full of courage, was also encouraged by his mother, who was a very brave and courageous woman. He resists until the end. And then it's beautiful when he says in the end, I will not obey the king's command, but I obey the command of the law that was given to your ancestors through Moses. But you, who have contrived all sorts of evil against the Hebrews, will certainly not escape the hands of God. So what the Lord expects from us? Faithfulness. He expects that we persevere. I think even more than unfaithfulness because we are unfaithful, he wait from us perseverance because he knows that we will fall once in a while, but we should persevere coming back to him quickly. And that's what the Lord wants from us. Here, we see that whatever the enemy, whatever is the person that is weighing on us, that is being difficult for us to deal with, that is making us suffer, is causing up in us pain, they are in the hands of the Lord. For us, we have to have the courage of the martyrs to say, Lord, here I am for you. Let us ask this day, this grace, the courage of the martyrs, to give our lives to the Lord until the end. That's beautiful. That's a virtue. That's a grace. And that this is the certain path of holiness. It is for sure giving your life to Christ until the end. You will get in heaven with him as well. And Psalm today, Psalm 17. Here I just cause, O Lord, attend to my cry, give ear to my prayer from lips free of deceit. My steps have held fast to your paths, my feet have not slipped. I call upon you, for you will answer me. O God, incline your ear to me, hear my words. Guard me as the apple of the eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. As for me, I shall behold your face in righteousness. When I awake, I shall be satisfied, beholding your likeness. Beautiful. Here I just cause, O Lord, attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer from lips free of deceit. Give ear to my prayer from lips free of deceit. My steps have held fast to your paths, my feet not slipped. I call upon you, for you will answer me. O God, incline your ear to me. Incline your ear to me, Lord. I need your love. I need, Lord, your company. I need your help. Guard me as the apple of the eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. Guard me as the apple of the eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. In the midst of the turmoil of our lives, we should pray this psalm many times. Guard me as the apple of the eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. And by meditating this, by bringing these words again to our hearts and to our minds, we'll be able to, on that moment, make an act of trust, of hope and faith on Lord in the midst of our trials, because we know that he is with us, that he keeps us as the apple of his eyes, that he guards me and he guards us under the shadow of his wings. And the Gospel according to Luke, today Luke 19, verses 11 to 28. As the crowd was listening, Jesus went on to tell a parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and because they supposed that the King of God was to appear immediately. So Jesus said, a noble man went to a distant country to get royal power for himself, and then returned. He summoned 10 of his slaves and gave them 10 pounds and said to them, do business with these until I come back. But the citizens of his country hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, we do not want this man to rule over us. When he returned, having received royal power, he ordered these slaves, to whom he had given the money, to be summoned so that he might find out what they had gained by trading. The first came forward and said, Lord, your pound has made 10 more pounds. The nobleman said to him, well done, good slave. Because you have been trustworthy in a very small thing, take charge of 10 cities. Then the second came, saying, Lord, your pound has made 5 pounds. The nobleman said to him, and you rule over 5 cities. Then the other came, saying, Lord, here is your pound. I wrapped it up in a piece of cloth, for I was afraid of you, because you are a harsh man. You take what you did not deposit and reap what you did not sow. The nobleman said to him, I will judge you by your own words, you wicked slave. You knew, did you, that I was a harsh man, taking what I did not deposit and reaping what I did not sow? Why then did you not put my money into the bank? Then when I returned, I could have collected it with interest. The nobleman said to the bystanders, Take the pound from him and give it to the one who has 10 pounds. And they said to him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. The nobleman said, I tell you, to all those who have, more will be given, but from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. But as for these enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. After Jesus had said this, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. So this parable today is very similar to the parable of the talents that we saw Sunday with the Gospel of Matthew. And here it's Jesus is going out to Jerusalem. He's getting ready for his death, and he's talking about his own reign, right? So the people that does not want Jesus to rule over them, but he has entrusted here. It says 10 apostles, 10 people, and we know the 12 apostles, people that the Lord has entrusted his talents to them. And we can think of the apostles here. But we can think each one of us as well, who are apostles through our baptism. And many times in our lives, the Lord gives us gifts, and we do not multiply it because we do not trust him. This man, the last man that didn't do anything with the pound that he has received, he didn't do anything because he was afraid. He didn't trust his master. And sometimes, and many times, it's the same for us. We do not multiply the talents that the Lord has given. We do not multiply his gifts that he has given us because we are afraid and we do not trust. When we trust, we launch ourselves, we go to the Father's arms quickly, and we do all that he wants because we know that the one who hath promised, he will give us not only what he has promised, but even more. So let us ask the Lord this grace today to grow in trust, to grow in courage, even to be courageous as a martyr. We have to go in trust. And we can say as with Saint Faustina, Jesus, I trust in you. I trust in you. I trust in you many times, so that our hearts grow each day on this trust, and seek ways for yourself to trust more and more in him. And the saint of this day, Saint Cecilia, legend claims that a Roman woman named Cecilia was martyred for the faith sometime in the 2nd or 3rd century. A few days after her husband Valerian and his brother Tiburtius were beheaded for refusing to sacrifice to the gods. Her association with music, she is a patron saint of musicians, stems from the story that at her wedding feast she sang to God in her heart. Honored since the early years of the Church, Cecilia is mentioned in the list of saints in the first Eucharistic prayer. So if you are interested, go and search more about the life of the Saint Cecilia. It's a beautiful life. There is a story that Jesus presents to her 2 crowns, and if she wants the crowns of the gold crown or the crown of thorns, and she chooses the crown of thorns. And this is we see that she was a woman that really loved Jesus, and was through witness, through her life of love with the Lord, that her husband Valerian and his brother Tiburtius converted to Christ, also to the point of martyrdom. So we see today Cecilia and the mother of the 7 sons in the first reading, these women of courage, the courage of the martyrs. So let us ask this grace for us, all of us, men and women, this grace of courage to love the Lord to the point of shedding our blood, to love the Lord and a point to give our lives to him until the end. So may God bless you today through the intercession of Saint Cecilia. Amen.